Rev up your engines. Well, you can't miss this car. A bright yellow Pontiac Solstice GXP. They made 66,000 or so of them. Then they stopped making them. Why did they stop making them? They stopped making them because GM went bankrupt and they were told by the government, who parlayed 60% of the cash for the deal, and said, you got to get rid of your money losers. They got rid of the Hummers, they got rid of these. And of course, sports cars, even at that time, 2009, 2010, less and less people were buying them anyway, because let's face the facts, even the vaunted Mazda Miata, they've only sold a little over 1 million of them, and that's a world record for two-seater roadsters. So, that's why they don't make them anymore. Well, would it make any sense for you to buy one of these used? This guy got this thing dirt cheap and he's having a bunch of fun with it. Now, these weren't some kind of import. Look, there it is. They were made in Wilmington. They were made in the United States. Like many sports cars, they were also available with an automatic transmission. This is the top of the line, the Solstice GXP, because as we look under the hood, turbo. There's a turbocharger over there. And you can see it's got high pressure GDI fuel injection. Now, this is actually quite well handling vehicle. It's a classic roadster. It's got a pretty powerful engine in the front. Now, you can get it with a 5-speed manual transmission. Actually, most of these GXPs were manuals. This just happens to be an automatic, and it is rear-wheel drive. And strangely enough, he's notorious for the differentials back here wearing out, but when he bought this from a guy, he already had a new differential in the back seat ready to put in. So he put it in himself, and he made a YouTube video showing how easy it was to do. They're really fun to drive around. Now, today, not so much with ice on the road, because, hey, rear-wheel drive cars, they'll fishtail all over the place if you go like a maniac, especially on the ice, right? They're not made for that, but for normal driving, these things can be a lot of fun. Now, he admits, in town, he's only going to get in the teens because it's got a turbo, and the turbo's going to kick in, the engine's going to rev up. Sometimes he gets, 12 miles a gallon in town driving it, but he can get 26, 27 miles a gallon on a highway. You got to drive it here in the cold weather, and that's not bad for a fun, zippy car to drive. We'll whine about the automatic transmission, but he says it's okay, and he's a car guy. He's not pushing the heck out of it. Now, for those who really want to zoom around, you would want the manual 5-speed, which was an Ace, and it's a Toyota transmission. Those are for the people who really want to zoom around, but these, if you take care of them, they are a GM transmission, and guys that drive them hard, most of them find up between 120 and 160,000 miles of transmission scrap out. That's why if you're a serious zoom guy, you probably want to get one with a manual. He wished he had a manual, but he only paid a little bit of money for this thing. He paid less than $1,000 for the car. So start her up, take a listen. It is a 4-cylinder, doesn't have a V8 hum, but if you're really crazy, you can put LS swaps in it. The Chevy V8 engine will hook right up to this transmission because it's a Chevrolet transmission. So, if you're nuts, you can put a V8. Too much power for this thing as far as I'm concerned. The power was not a problem with this because it's a turbocharged engine. The ones that were non-turbo, yeah, with an automatic, they're kind of dogs. You really have to get a manual if you're buying one of these that has the non-turbocharged engine. They just have enough oomph with an automatic transmission. Those you really would want a manual transmission. It's a real two-seater. It's only got 2 seats. There is no back seat, so not a small back seat. There's no back seat. It's an actual 2-seater. And yes, he said the check engine light just came on, so we'll see what's going on with that. It's got a manual convertible top, but it's too cold. We're gonna leave it up. Too cold to put up today, but it's manual, so there's less crap to break when you put the top down and put the top back up. Now, that said, when you do put the convertible top in here, it flips up. You don't have any trunk space. You don't have much to begin with, so this is not something you carry a bunch of things with. It's a classic 2-seater. It's a real 2-seater. Now you can see the wheels have held up pretty good. The plating is still in pretty good shape, and the engine doesn't leak oil, doesn't burn oil. The turbo still works pretty good. This is a Saab-based turbo, and Saab's always had pretty good turbos on it, so GM had some deal going with Saab, so That's also, like I said, GDI fuel injection system. So it's got the high pressure fuel injection system on it. We even left it with an AC Delco battery in it. Not the original one, of course. And it's got an easy to get to OBD plug right here. You can see it's on. Comfortable seats, right? Man, I'm getting a little old and bigger. It's a tight squeeze getting in and out, I'll say that. Oh, with our scan tool. Cold day, so it might take a little while for it to warm up. And here we go with the new Think car. If you're curious, it's a Platinum 191. So here we go. Do auto search. Got cool graphics. Pretty fast. It knows what it is. It's starting a diagnosis. Knows that it's Pontiac Solstice. Picked up the VIN number. We will do a whole scan. While it's doing it, we'll look around. Seat's still in pretty good shape. The armrest is just plastic. Back here, that's where your cup holders is. Kind of a bad position. I would have put the cup holder somewhere else. And we have the world's tiniest glove box. Look at this. Woo! Tiny little glove box. A couple of codes so far. Tranny's okay. Passenger presence system, that's the airbag system. Probably these seats are notorious for the sensors inside going bad for the airbags. Airbag codes, more airbag codes, so I'm assuming the airbags don't work. Alright, now we'll start with the ECM. Fuel trim at idle, bank 1. There's only one bank because it's in 4. So it's running lean, and the exhaust camshaft position actuator solenoid control circuit, that's got a code too. It was making noise on him. He cleaned it, but then he said he changed the oil and stuff and went away, but now it's come back again. So that is probably the system is breaking down. They're variable valve timing, and they're notorious for wearing out when they get older. After all, it does have 118,000 miles. I wonder about the life of this transmission, because a lot of times between 120 and 160 they would start to go out. They are a GM product. They're not like the 5-speed manual that is a Toyota Aisin product. This is a GM product. It shows the actual solenoid control circuit. The solenoid itself is probably starting to go out, or the cam assembly itself. That's the one problem with you start turbocharging a small engine. Things are going to wear out faster. Now, like I say, passenger presence system, it's all internal problems. So the weighing system and the wiring's probably shot in there. Nobody's going to bother fixing that. And the airbag system, see it showing passenger presence system invalid, so all that is bad. But the rest of it is good. General live data. Remember, black is good, red is bad. Now this is an older car, you can see. A lot of this data is not available. The camshaft stuff, the sensors, right? So, we're going to look at that data. Mass airflow sensor's normal. The intake's working. Let's see if we can get to the exhaust. Okay, here's the exhaust. Well, it's working correctly now. They're mirroring each other. So from that, it's showing it's working okay. I am more leaning towards the actual sensor itself should be replaced, because it's showing it's working okay now, and the sensor can work, not work, work, not work. If the engine was physically worn, it would always be exactly the same, right? If it was off a tooth or something, it would always be the same. It wouldn't change. And this is changing like it's supposed to, so I'd say I'd put a new exhaust camshaft sensor on it. We're gonna look at misfire data. Okay, that's all normal. Fuel, that's all normal. Injectors, no, none of them were disabled due to misfire, so it's not misfiring. No misfire history at all. Information, we're gonna clear the codes and take it for a spin. Clear them. Clear them. Okay, it's clear. Now the lights off, but I can put the seatbelt on. The guy who owns this grew up in a junkyard, and he loves buying parts here and there, sticking stuff on it. And he's having a lot of fun for a little bit of money. Came with a cracked windshield, though. He didn't do that. These windshields are notorious for cracking because of their angle and being lower. They went through a lot of windshields. One thing though, I wouldn't have been driving on this road last week because it was covered with snow and ice. And with this rear wheel drive car with a very basic traction control system, it would have been sliding all over the place. I'd probably be in one of these ditches or hit one of those trees. So it's a good thing it's all cleared off. And here we go. That turbo kicks in. It's got a lot of power. I'll give you that. Really, I can see. And the twisties, this is a fun little car to drive. It's got very wide tires, pretty well set up suspension system. Here we go down Outlaw Field, fitting name, Tennessee. Used to be a lot of outlaws around here. And yeah, it is a fun little car to drive around in. Felt the transmission do a little dump. That shows me that I was correct, because the transmission was showing the early signs of disintegration at 118,000 miles. I felt it going from first to second, clunk. And when these really go bad, they clunk like mad. So it's pretty much typical. It was taken care of, but it's only got 118,000 miles. And like I say, normally between 120 and 160, the trannies go out. And that's what finished most of these out. Unless they had a manual, which is a 5-speed Toyota Aisin unit, which can last forever. Yeah, they're a little rough shifting and stuff at times, but they just go and go and go. And they don't come apart like these automatics do. Okay, so there we have it. It's quite a bit of fun. Now, okay, the airbag system doesn't work anymore. Well, let's face the facts. Do you really think that a 20-year-old GM vehicle is going to have airbags that still work? I wouldn't bet my life. Seatbelts work quite well when you buckle them on, right? I mean, let's face the facts. Doesn't burn oil. Runs pretty good, but like I say, always the weak point is the automatic transmission, and it's only got 118,000 miles, and it seemed to have been babied by the original woman owner. So, hey, for what he's got into it, it can be a really fun toy. It's just a shame that it's not a 5-speed with that Aisin transmission, because then you could probably drive it for the next 10, 15 years if you took care of it. So now you know a little bit more about the Pontiac Solstice. They don't make them because the government forced them to get rid of their non-money makers back in 2009 when GM went bankrupt and we taxpayers bought 60% of the company. And contrary to what GM said, we were never paid back entirely. Stock was sold, yes, but money was also lost by the government. They never want to tell you the truth. And this is another thing that was lost. Fun little cars that they'll never make again. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.